Welcome to Charlie's Toolbox, a podcast for women building sovereign, self-led lives. Here, we explore how art, fashion, media, and mindset become tools for power, clarity, and creative direction. This isn't self-help. This is cultural strategy for women who lead themselves.
Hi there, and welcome to this week's episode of Charlie's Toolbox. Today we're exploring pillars 3 and 4 of choosing yourself. They are relationship sovereignty and family design. These are two pillars that will give you foundational skills in choosing yourself, and they will help amplify the lessons that we learned last week on financial autonomy and body freedom. Last week, I shared stories from women who achieved these first two pillars, and I wrote a deeply personal piece on Substack about my own journey with financial autonomy and body freedom. I put that article behind a paywall because I was incredibly vulnerable, something that I am not comfortable with, and it took everything in me to be that open. So I needed some level of protection, some level of just a barrier for that level of transparency. For this episode, you'll have a powerful new framework for relationships and family that support your sovereignty, plus practical steps to implement both pillars starting today. If you love this episode, if it resonates with you, please do me a solid favor, like, subscribe, and share it. This is the best way for you to help our brand grow and to help other women like you discover this content and join our community of women who are choosing themselves. So, let's get started. What is relationship sovereignty? Relationship sovereignty means being self-partnered, romantically autonomous, and possessing sovereign singlehood as your default model. It's not the waiting room. It's about choosing yourself over settling for good enough and making decisions from a place of completeness, not scarcity. This is what choosing yourself looks like in your romantic life. I had a woman once tell me she couldn't focus on becoming who she wants to be because her boyfriend didn't think it was necessary. And that's when I realized my mother pulling me to the side and condemning me, saying, "I know you ain't crying over that nigga," served me well, because making them that important never serves you. This is why relationship sovereignty is of the utmost importance for women who go on the journey to choose themselves. Because men in relationships are often the number one reasons why a woman fails. If she's incarcerated, it's likely due to the man in her life. If she's abused, it's often due to the partner in her life. According to the CDC, 41% of women, almost half of the U.S. population of women, experience contact sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner during their lifetime and reported a related impact. So you're not only required to have a healthy skepticism of romantic relationship, but you should also have a new model of what that encompasses, because the traditional model puts you in danger. Typically, when we think about relationships, we view them as a waiting room and then fulfillment. The waiting room is a period when we're single and therefore considered unfulfilled and somewhat immature. And then the time when we're married with a family is when real life is supposed to be in. It's when real happiness is supposed to show up. But when you're single, that time should be time when you explore your completion the most. It should be the time of pure joy, because there are no obstructions or delays or moments where you have to think of others. So that means you have pure and unadulterated time to think about yourself and cultivate your happiness. Think about it. You have nothing else to worry about but you. And that shouldn't make you sad. When you choose yourself in this way, you make space for the other pillars to flourish. You can make that career move without worrying about a partner's opinion or how it may affect your family or your children. You can invest in your health and body without external pressure. You can make financial decisions that serve your future and not someone else's comfort, like your family. And don't get me wrong, those are important things, but when you are single, you have the freedom to do them without guilt. So, how do you implement relationship sovereignty? You develop a healthy skepticism of romantic relationships. You don't have to be jaded, you don't have to be bitter, but you should be a little bit skeptical because you've seen the numbers and you have seen and heard the stories. Number 2, you reframe singlehood as your complete and fulfilled state. You're not waiting to be fulfilled. You are fulfilled. And the addition, if you want to be partnered, what that brings is just someone to have better understanding of you, or someone to join you on the path, or someone to kind of parallel play in your own life. Number 3, you set dating standards that prioritize your personal compatibility and values. That's if you want a relationship. You definitely need to ensure that your compatibility, your values, and your safety is at the forefront, not fulfilling validation or a hole or believing that this is going to make you happy. And number 4, you make decisions based on what serves your sovereignty and not what keeps others comfortable. You have to make decisions based on you, your completeness, your needs, because this is your life. And so do not make yourself the side character, the second character to your own life. Now, this relationship sovereignty, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It extends into every area of your life, especially how you structure your family relationships. And it's going to be intertwined. I'm going to kind of show you the model through family of what sovereignty can look like. Because the same systems that tell you to settle in romantic relationships are the ones that will try to control how you build your family life. So what is family design? Family design means creating your own family structure, or at the very least, leaving room for unconventionality. And this is going to tie into how partnership can be viewed in a sovereign model. It's about challenging the hierarchies that are replicated in your family structure and refusing to abide by rules and oppression in a space where you're supposed to be loved, cared for, and honored. This is how you choose yourself within family systems. I'll tell you a story. Whenever I would express my opinions to my family about being a single woman who chose herself, being radically selfish, I'd get phone calls and texts asking to have a conversation because they wanted to understand me. But they didn't actually want to understand me. They desired to reinforce the values in the family structure under which they lived and controlled people with. They wanted me to value the family system that they lived under and respect the hierarchy. A hierarchy where men are coddled and held at high esteem as leaders, and one that I would fundamentally never value. But what you don't realize is that when you honor a particular hierarchy, certain voices are valued and others are invalidated. And so if you have a family hierarchy that values men over everyone, then who ultimately gets devalued and left out of the conversation? Who is questioned and viewed through the lens of skepticism? Who is taught that they're automatically wrong or disrespectful by asserting their authority? Women, single women, and children, which is why you must create your own family design, or at the very least leave room for unconventionality, because these hierarchies in society are replicated in your family structure, and if you don't challenge or change them, you will have to abide by rules and oppression in a space where you're supposed to be cared for. And not only will you replicate power, But you will also punish and devalue those or even yourself if you do not live under the two-parent heterosexual home with 2 or 2.5 children. You will spew misogyny on social media asking someone, where is the ring? You will consider the opinions of single women as juvenile or bitter or jealous or not experienced. You would devalue yourself because you're a single mom or you are single, and therefore you are considered worthless under this hierarchy, because the goal, what's valued, is partnership, and particularly partnership with the man. You will fight to keep a toxic parent in the household because you don't want to be devalued by the hierarchy you uphold. Meaning, you will fight to keep this partner who is making you miserable because you want your kid to have a family. You want to value this hierarchy. You want to uphold it. But in the end, inevitably, it is hurting you and your child or your children. You will scoff at partnering with your friend who may be a single mother, who may be a single person, to buy a house and have stability for your children. You will devalue the chosen family you have and not lean into it by giving the unconditional love that they're giving you. You will bypass an unconventional but healthy option and still keep searching for that validation. You will ignore the very real possibility that your friend and you, as a non-romantic partner in the household, may do better than a heterosexual romantic relationship. You will miss opportunities for real freedom, stability, and peace because it doesn't live in this family structure and it's not packaged in the way and the hierarchy that you've been taught. The way that you've been taught to desire. When you grow up with the idea that the nuclear family is the dream, that you must be paired romantically in order to be happy, then you use it as a tool to control others because you view anyone who lives outside of that as less than, and you wield it as power because those who don't have it are considered less valuable, knowledgeable, or experienced. And then, this is the killer part, not only do you wield it on other people, when you don't achieve it, you undermine your worth. When you don't achieve the marriage, the family, the household, you think you're less valuable. And therefore, you must place value on all family systems and understand that unconditional love, safety, and stability can be cultivated anywhere. You can create that with chosen family. You can create that with best friends. You can create that with your family. If they want to understand you and they want to give you the room and the respect for you to be yourself. When you choose yourself by designing your own family structure, you create the support system that reinforces every other pillar. Your chosen family, and that can include your actual family, people who respect you in your family. Your chosen family celebrates your financial independence instead of questioning it. They support your body autonomy instead of policing it. They aren't calling you fat at the dinner table or during Thanksgiving. They honor your relationship sovereignty instead of pressuring you to settle or asking when you're going to settle or being disappointed when you don't have kids or you're not settling. So how do you implement family design? Number one, you challenge family hierarchies that devalue your voice and autonomy. Number two, you place equal value on all family systems, traditional and unconventional. You may fall into a traditional relationship, but that doesn't mean you have to abide by the hierarchies. Number three, you consider alternative arrangements like co-parenting with friends or chosen family structures. Number four, prioritize unconditional love, safety, and stability over societal validation. Number five, stop using traditional family structures as a tool to judge, control, or have power over others. That is how you choose yourself. So, today we've explored pillars 3 and 4 of choosing yourself, which are relationship sovereignty and family design. Relationship sovereignty means making singlehood your default state of fulfillment and not a waiting room for someone else to complete you. And family design means creating structures that support your autonomy rather than requiring you to follow hierarchies that devalue your voice. Together, these pillars create the foundation that allows your financial autonomy and body freedom to flourish without being undermined by relationships or family expectations that keep you small. Here's what I want you to remember. Every time you choose yourself in relationships, every time you design your family around your values instead of society's expectation, you're not being selfish. You are being revolutionary. You are pushing womanhood forward. You are showing other women what's possible. You're breaking cycles that have kept generations of women small. You're proving that unconditional love, safety, and stability can be cultivated anywhere with anyone who truly celebrates your completeness. So this week, I want you to take your time. I want you to remember these pillars, but I want you to take a specific practice, okay? I want you to audit one relationship or family dynamic in your life and ask yourself, is this person or system supporting my sovereignty or requiring me to dim my light to keep them comfortable? And then once you get an answer, some clarity around that, take one concrete action. Have the conversation, set the boundary, or explore the unconventional option you've been considering. Okay? And so if this episode resonated with you, please share it with another woman who needs to hear that she can choose herself too.
That concludes our exploration for today. I hope this conversation has sparked something within you. A new insight, a challenge to the status quo, or a deeper connection to your own radical vision. Remember, Charlie's Toolbox is more than a podcast. We are a cultural studio, a movement, a revolution. If you're ready to dive deeper, to access exclusive tools, and to build alongside a powerful assembly of visionary women, visit charliestoolbox.com to discover the Radical Atelier. Thank you for listening. Until next time, keep